Okie dokie. I see a lot of people out there I recognize, a lot of people I don't recognize. It's pretty wonderful. I'm going to be reading off of what I've been writing because I didn't really want to wing it. And so bear with me if it sounds like I'm reading because I am reading. All right, but I'll try and liven it up a little bit. All right, so thank you everybody for coming here. Everybody that came up here, you, thank you. I really appreciate all the stuff that you guys said. It really, I know it's hard. I mean, I really do. And I look around this room and I see so many familiar faces and so much love in here. And I see some unfamiliar faces, which is also amazing. It's really wonderful how love can bring everybody together. And there's people from next door here and people from over 900 miles away that were all motivated to come here by the love of one person, and that is Alexa. And you're all looking at me right now, and that name Alexa conjures up so many different things, feelings and memories. A smile, a brilliant, blazing smile that you can see clearly as you close your eyes. I know you can hear her voice ring out like a bell, and I can feel her warmth in this room right now. If one word could describe her, I might be tempted to choose the word warmth. It's just a perfect word for her. And Ethan absolutely loved to snuggle her. Anytime he had the chance or the choice, always mama. He called her his squishy. And me, on the other hand, not so much. He called me his crunchy because of his scruffy face and my sleek, trim physique. It wasn't too comfortable. It was like snuggling a skeleton, so it was always mama. But yeah, she was a snuggle master. So raise your hand real quick if you ever got a hug from Alexa. Yep, every single person. I thought so. Wasn't it the best? Come on. When she hugged you, you were hugged. It was never a quick little chest bump, pat on the back thing. I mean, you stayed hugged. And she really loved everyone here. She's the kind of person that would adopt anything. I don't know if you knew that. I know you're April, wherever you, there you are. She can tell you. Lost kitten? No, we can't keep her. Poor little puppy? No, we can't keep him. Friends that didn't have enough friends? Well, they can spend the night, but they can't move in. Kids that could use a little extra squishy time. It's like, babe, I love you, but the police say we have to give them back now, so let's give them back. And her heart was an endless supply of real genuine concern and warmth for everyone, and it's something that I personally am going to miss every single day. And every single solitary cell in my body yearns for her. It calls out to her, demanding her return. And sometimes I feel like my soul is being drawn out of me with a strange magnetic attraction that death can deceitfully pull you towards the promise of reunion. But I have to fight on. I have to worry about Ethan, and I just pray for the strength to get through it. And honestly, God answered that prayer by sending every single one of you here. And from the moment I got that frantic phone call 1 week ago today, my entire universe was shattered. Life has just been a series of jumps since then. Jump to the hospital, jump to seeing her covered up to her nose with a white sheet, jump to sobbing uncontrollably and talking with the police, jump to being driven home as I couldn't drive, and jump to sitting on the chair in the living room with Ethan on my knee, trying to explain to a 4-year-old that Mommy was gone. And you remember how Mommy was really sick? How she couldn't come home until she was better? Well, baby, sometimes people get sick and they get better, and sometimes people stay sick. Sometimes people don't get better. So Mommy's never coming back, he said. No, baby, Mama's dead. And she's in heaven now. Jumped to the funeral home, answering questions about boxes and cards and flowers I really couldn't care less about. Jumped to putting my ring on her hand because I couldn't stand for her not to have a ring on. And jumped to right now. It's not a secret that Alexa was held captive by an addiction. It's the elephant in the room. It's what everybody can't help but think about, but most are too polite to bring it up. She was consumed by it, and it took me a long time to figure that out and learn how to deal with it. An addiction is called a lot of different things. Some call it a disease, some call it a choice. Me, I say it's both. It's not that simple to write off. It's a dynamic thing that affects everyone differently, and I still don't fully understand it. Although the amount of pain that I felt seeing her for the last time, I can understand wanting to escape that. I can understand feeling miserable enough, long enough. It can leave a person wanting just out one way or another. So in one sense, I get it. But it's hard to reconcile just wanting to not feel so bad with an all-consuming addiction. An addiction is a terror. It's an absolute monster. And it will take everything from everyone it can. It cannot ever be satisfied. But one thing I did notice is that it feeds on lies. Lies like you're worthless, no one loves you, how could they? You're a horrible person, a failure, there's no future for you, the pain will never stop. But listen to me right now, those are lies. You are worthwhile, you are loved, you have a future, and the pain is not forever. Addiction can't survive without being fed. Sure, you can go into treatment and try really hard, and if you're lucky, you might be able to stop using for a while. But if you don't start introducing some serious truth in your life, and you don't cut the lies off, that addiction is just waiting for you to slip up. Now, I'm not as simple and naive as some of you think, and when it comes to Alexa and her problems, I'm not just some dumb guy she was with that never saw it coming and was just weak enough to constantly be used. I know a lot of what's happened, more than I actually care to know, honestly, but I love her with all of my heart. There's not a thing in the world that anyone could ever say, and there's not a thing in the world that she could have ever done that would change that. And some of you might be asking yourself, how can that be? How can you love someone that hurt you so much? How could you forgive all that? Well, I can answer that in two ways. First way is it simply wasn't her. Sure, it was Alexa physically and partially mentally, but it wasn't her. The addiction really was running the show. And I know it's hard for you guys not familiar with addiction to understand this, but I came up with something that might help, so let's do a little thought experiment, shall we? Everybody close your eyes. Everybody, close them. Go ahead. All right. Now, imagine you live in Leave It to Beaverland, the all-American town with a big 4th of July block party and endless summers just riding your bikes to the corner store. And next door to your house is your best friend. You've grown up together your whole lives. You went to kindergarten together. You went camping in the backyard. You got in trouble together and ran away from angry neighbors after you broke their window, and you stuck up for them even when you definitely knew that they were wrong. This person was your friend all through high school, and you went to prom together, and they were in your wedding, and they were there when you had your first child. They were the one you called from jail. They were the one you called when your mom died. They were always there. Then one day, you're both older, and your best friend starts getting sick. They end up in a care facility, and you go see them every day. You play board games and talk about old times. They start forgetting people. Then they start forgetting you. One day you come in and they yell at you. They say they don't know you. They're convinced you're out to get them and hurt them. They scream how much they hate you. Now open your eyes. Would you take that to heart? Would you throw out a lifetime of wonderful memories for a day of sickness? I didn't think so. The second reason I love and forgive is much more important. It's because I've been loved and I've been forgiven. And I was real angry the other day thinking about all this. I was just so hurt and just feeling like just hate, just anger. I mean, I've been wronged, like every conceivable awful way that you could be wronged. I was wronged, and I have to pick up the pieces now and carry on. I have to be alone and raise a 4-year-old all by myself. This is unfair. And I begged God to make me understand. Just show me what to do. What do I do? And you know what he did? He held up a mirror. He reminded me of every single wrong thing I ever did. He showed me how I was just as bad and in many ways a lot worse. He smacked me right off my high horse and he showed me the truth. So be careful what you pray for. And while I was sitting there in shame and regret, he reminded me of something else. He reminded me that he still loved me. And he told me he was outside of time. And I was like, what does that mean? He's not some guy in the sky with a lot of time on his hands. He's completely outside of time altogether. And since he's outside of time altogether, he can step back and see all of it at once. He can see the beginning and the end at the same time. And what that means is that he knew us before the world even began. He knew you before he even said, "Let there be light." He knew you personally. Every single thing you would ever do. Every single thing you would ever think. And it's hard to wrap your head around it, but once you try, you begin to see the awesome power of God. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the idea that anyone could read all my thoughts is a bit frightening. But the crazy thing is, he knew all that, and he still loved us enough to die for us personally. Now, this is the part where people start rolling their eyes and going, geez, is he really going to start talking about all this God stuff? I've known James forever, and he never got all religious, but it must just be because he's hurting so bad, and it's nice to believe a little fairy tale to feel better. All I can say is that it's real, and I know that God is real, and I know that he loves us. And I can prove it to you because my proof is in my hope. I'm heartbroken, and I miss Alexa more than I know how to express. But I'm not hopeless. I wish things that could be different. I wish a lot of things, but I'm not full of hate and depression. I know God knows what he's doing, and I might not ever understand that, but I also know that he's been with me every step of the way. I know that he was with Alexa, calling for her to come back just like I was, and I know that she believed and that we're going to be together again. And I can stand here in front of a room full of people gathered here to mourn a precious life and be in indescribable pain, yet I have hope. And I'm thankful for everything I've been given. I'm thankful. And I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I know where you can get that hope too. And it's completely free. It doesn't come with a bunch of rules and oppression, only loving guidance from someone who knows what's best for you. From a Father that loves you with all his heart, and he wants you back. It's not only free, but it sets you free, and you can have this hope too. There are people here that you can talk to about, or I'll talk to you with as long as you want to. I mean, you just call me up. We'll hang out. I'll explain it all. I'm so thankful that Alexa took that gift, and I know that I'll be with her again. So I really beg you guys to just consider it while you still have a chance. Thank you all for coming. I love you guys. I love all of you, so thank you very much.